For this one, you might just recognize that's 10 because 10 cubed is 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1,000. So if it's done, that's great. But let's say you didn't realize that. Let's say you were looking at that and you're like, I don't know. You can break it down with your trees. You can break it down however you want. Sometimes I just go by twos. So I go 2 and 500, 2 and 250, 2 and 125. Let's see, ran out of twos, so 5 and 25, 5 and 5. And so however you started off, if you had started off with a 10 and 100, you'd end up with the same factorization. And so we take out groups of 3 because it's a cube root. So one representative comes out, one representative from that group of 3 comes out. Everybody got paired up, no one had to stay inside, so it's 2 times 5 is 10. Hey, we match. We do it again. We're not afraid of negatives in a cube root. We're afraid of negatives in even roots. But like the cube root of -8 would be -2, because -2 times -2 times -2 would be a negative times a negative is a positive times a negative would give me a negative. So cube roots of negative numbers are okay. Square roots of negative numbers, if that had been a negative, it's like, oh no, don't do that. So anyway, so for this guy, let's just start breaking them down because I don't recognize off the top of my head if any of those, if this is divisible by any perfect cube. So I'm just going to go, this is 2 and 81, and I'll ignore the negative for now, put it in later. 81 is 9 and 9, let's say, and those both break down into 3s, 3 and 3, 3 and 3. And so it's a cube root, so I take out groups of 3. So 1, 3 comes outside, and everything who didn't get grouped has to stay in. So the 2 and the 3 stay in, and you get 3 times the cube root of 6. And back to square roots. Again, I don't quite recognize a perfect square that goes into there off the top of my head, so I'm just going to break it down. This is 2 and 256, which is 2 and 128, which is 2 and 64, which is 2 and 32, which is 2 and 16, 2 and 8, 2 and 4, 2 and 2. So it's a square root, so we're back to taking out groups of 2. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 representatives, one from each group that gets to come outside, and then that poor little lone guy has to stay in. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16, and we get 16 root 2. Phew.